Hi, I'm Scott Swenson. We're here at Lynn's Propane Trucks, and we've got another stock truck for you. This is a 2019 Freightliner with a 34.99 gallon tank, ISL Cummins engine, 300 horsepower. It's loaded front to back. As you can see, we've got the chrome grille, we've got the bright finish mirrors, chrome bumper, chrome air intake, aluminum fuel tank, stainless steel steps, aluminum cover over the DEF system, vertical exhaust with a stainless steel cover, aluminum fuel tank, aluminum wheels, stainless steel deck, stainless fenders, stainless oversized meter box. This truck is loaded. Let's step into the cab and we'll take a look at a few of the options in there. So here on the dash you can see we've got the wood grain background. We have the selector switch for the Allison transmission. Got our utility light switch here. We call them our work lights. So that's two on the rear lower corners of the cab and two on the rear head of the tank. It's just like stadium lighting. Lights up around the entire truck. Excellent for those cold, dark nights when you guys are out late making deliveries, trying to keep up. Right next to that, we've got the strobe light. So as you saw in our opening segment, we had strobes in the headlight enclosures, and then there's also a strobe on the rear of the tank. So you've got strobes flashing forward and rearward. Right next to that, we've got the differential lock for the rear end. Driver controlled right in here with that rocker switch. Moving over, power windows, power locks, heated mirrors. We have an exhaust brake on this truck. Got a couple of 12-volt outlets here. You can charge your phones, in-cab electronics, anything you need, GPS. Up top, we've got a radio here with AM, FM, Bluetooth. We've got the MP3 plug here, USB plug. Pretty much everything you could want in a stereo system. Over here, this truck has a backup camera. So we have a camera mounted on the rear head of the tank. You put it in reverse, it'll come up so that you can see exactly where you're going. Still use your mirrors. We've got it right here mounted so that you can go from your camera to your mirrors. Nice and easy swing. But it takes away that blind spot directly behind the truck. It's a really, really nice safety feature. Once customers get one, they always get them on following trucks. Down here, we've got a custom-made printer stand. This is not going to be rattling as you go down the road. It's custom-made to every single truck. We've got a ticket holder as well, so your driver can help them stay organized in the cab. We see a lot of messes in these cabs. A lot of times cardboard boxes, wooden boxes, and tickets all over the cab. So this should help them stay organized. This truck has a 3-function remote. PTO, throttle, e-stop. So you haul the hose out to the customer's tank, hook up right from the tank, start the PTO, kick the throttle up as the tank fills, kick the throttle down, shut the PTO off. It's a really nice feature. One, it helps save pump life because your pump's not running as long, but two, it can save you from a ticket because with just the single function that's required, most of the time we'll see these living on the dash. Your driver doesn't use it, so he doesn't carry it. They get pulled over by the DOT. It's been sitting there for 6 months. The battery's dead. A very hefty ticket. So it's a really nice option. Let's move around to the side of the truck. We'll check out a few more things. Just to go over it again, as you can see, we've got the stainless steps, aluminum fuel tank, aluminum cover on the DEF tank. We've got work lights on the rear lower corners of the cab that we spoke about, LED lights. We like to refer to them as stadium lighting because they light up everything. 2 on the rear corners, 2 on the rear head of the tank, illuminating around the entire truck. A very nice safety option. We've got our chalk block holders, spring loaded, nice and easy to use. We got rubber on the front and the back so they're not banging around, running down the road. Stainless fenders, stainless fender brackets. Again, the aluminum wheels. We've got a little stainless spacer here. We mount the mud flaps back further so that you can't pin them against the snowbank and tear them off. So we put this spacer in here to keep the road grime from shooting up on the rear deck. You'll see a lower rear deck. A lot of the piping back here is stainless as well, standard. Let's go to the back and we'll take a closer look at how the back end of the truck is set up. So up at the top of the tank here, you can see in the very center, we've got our backup camera. We had that mounted on the passenger side cowl, so you could go right from the backup camera to the passenger side mirrors. Right below that is our strobe, in conjunction with the strobe in the front headlight enclosures, alerting people oncoming and from the rear. Next to that is the 2 work lights, along with the 2 on the lower rear corners of the cab. Lights up all around the truck. We've got our float gauge there, recessed into the truck. A lot of the trucks, you'll see the rust running down from the rain guard over it. So we've got a recessed float gauge here. You won't see any of that, and it can't get sheared off in an accident. Stainless steel placard holder here as well. As we move down over to the meter, we've got an oversized meter box. A lot of the meter boxes you see just barely fit the meter. That means you can't work on anything in there. You've got to pull the meter box off every time you do a repair. You can do anything with this meter box. It's big enough. We've also got a little shelf in here. You can keep your gloves, any fittings you need throughout the day. And on the inside here, we've got a spray bottle holder for your leak check. A lot of guys keep the bee killer in there in the summer. It's nice to help keep the back box organized. We see a lot of times when they come in for service, it's just got stuff all over the bottom. It's banging around as your driver's going through the deliveries throughout the day. So this just helps them keep organized here. We've got main valve and vapor switches back here, and also a backup PTO and throttle switch. The meter itself, it's an LC meter with an LCR2 electronic register, 2-stage preset. That means you want to drop 286 gallons, 0.9, it'll drop it right on the money every single time. We keep our hose and nozzle in here as well. Easy in, easy out, keeps it clean, dry, ice free. A lot of times you'll see these, you know, you'll have to thread them down to the deck. Not with this, it's nice and easy. You're not banging ice off it in the morning. Over here for a hose reel, we've got a Henne hose reel, spec'd for 250 feet of 1-inch hose. Comes standard with 150 feet of 1-inch low temp hose. We overspec it like that so that you've got extra room. As you can see, your drivers aren't reeling this thing up perfectly. If you want to fit 150 feet of 1-inch hose on a hose reel that's spec'd for 150 feet, it has to be reeled perfectly. So we've got this extra room. You guys are out there hustling, especially in the winter, long hours. They're just reeling this thing up. They're trying to move the gallons. So you've got the extra room here. You're not rubbing on the bottom of the deck, and it's not lopping over the edges and getting caught between the drum and the frame, which is something common you'll see when the reels are spec'd too small. We've also got this up on some aluminum brackets here so that you can wash right underneath it. A lot of times you'll see these, there's just dirt and leaves caked in under there. There's no way to get it out of here. Where we've got it up on the brackets, you just hit it with a power washer, blows it right out. The reel has a guide master. This option is wonderful, so you guys aren't having to guide the hose in by hand every time, and of course they're getting on their hands whatever the hose dragged through. This is nice and easy on the back as well. We've got a cover on this to help protect the switch. Moving over a little bit here to the center, we've got the cap off this. Normally this is going to have a disc on it. We wanted to just show you the proximity switch on it. So this is tied into the Allison transmission. Allison has a range inhibit feature. So if you don't put the cap back on, it's your regular 3¼ inch Acme, but it's got a disc around it. So when you put the cap on, the proximity sensor here will sense the disc and tell the transmission that it's okay to put it in gear. If you don't put the cap back on, you can't put the truck in gear and drive away. This is probably it is the most common pull away issue. So it's a very common safety. We're doing it on more and more trucks every year. Last couple of things on the rear deck here. If you notice, I mean, everything's stainless steel. We've got a stainless bumper cover, stainless deck plate, stainless deck, but also that it's lowered. Everything's within a comfortable working height. You're working on the reel to the meter, everything's within your center of gravity. Most of the trucks you'll see, they've got a prefab deck that bolts right on the chassis rails from the factory. So they're just setting it on top, bolting the deck on, and putting everything else on it. Because of that, your decks are up higher. You're working up above your shoulders all day long, whether it be on the reel, on the meter, or the other pieces loading the truck. If you notice, we've got angled fills. So this is nice and easy. You take that 2-inch load line from your plant in the winter when it's cold and that thing is not flexible at all. Just put it right under your arm and it fits right up. You don't have to be 6'3" to do it comfortably. Everything is set up with the driver in mind to make things safe, ergonomically correct and easier. You know, let's be honest, in the winter, they're working long hours. They're working very hard, and it's a tough job. The easier you can make it for them, the better off you are. Let's go to the side of the truck and we'll just check out a few more things. Again, we've got the stainless fender brackets, stainless steel spacer behind the fenders and before the deck, aluminum wheels. You see the stainless steps, the aluminum cover over the DEF system, stainless cover over the vertical exhaust. Under the truck, under the tank, we've got oversized PTO shaft, straight as an arrow. You see a lot of these at serious angles. That means your universal joints are going to go prematurely. You keep it nice and straight and you have less maintenance and they last a lot longer. Also under the truck, you'll see our wiring and our pneumatics. With every truck you'll get a binder that has diagrams for everything we do. And everything's color coded, so if you see a yellow pneumatic line under the truck, you look right on the diagram, you can see what part it goes to in the back of the truck, what part and part number it goes to in the front of the truck. It makes troubleshooting really easy. This truck's built, ready to deliver gas. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call at 800-252-5467. We'll talk to you soon.